Let me ask the question, what is it that you want and how can we help you achieve it? I'm Justin Hitt with Inside Strategic Relations. The number one thing that we're going to do here is help you transform business relationships into profits. And I'm going to go over what we're trying to do from an outcome perspective for our subscribers so that you know what you can get here. And so I'm not coming to you any special design. Many times I'm doing recordings in my truck, or I'm doing them out of the office, or I'm doing interviews with prospects or clients, and I'm just going to get you valuable insights that help you transform business relationships into profit. Now, what does that mean? Well, the people you interact with in business, you're doing it for a purpose. And you're doing it to either sell a product or service, or to position yourself as an expert so you can be hired, or to demonstrate your value so you can be hired. There's an economic exchange here. And in order to do that, because we know people do business with those they know, like, and trust, how do we exhibit those characteristics so that you're known, so that you're liked, and so that you're trusted in a way that creates the outcome of getting hired? So I come to you as I am because it takes me, I don't want to say less effort, but it's better to be transparent in building a relationship, because we're cultivating a community of business owners and executives who are interested in not manipulating, but connecting with individuals, building networks, building communities, developing a system that by default creates an outcome for you. Now, that outcome could be just being liked. It could be stroking your ego. That's what a lot of people want today. But I hope that we can go beyond that to create necessary influence that produces results. So we're going to talk about political campaigns. We're going to talk about influence activities, media, marketing, publishing. How do we position ourselves in a marketplace so that if someone has a problem, they turn to you over anybody else? We'll talk about social engineering, because social engineering done well can cause people to adopt habits and behaviors that are beneficial to them. Many of my clients are senior level executives, politicians, knowledge workers, individuals who are in management roles or desire to be in management roles. These roles have a high economic value. So once you understand how to use them, or how to leverage them, or how to implement these techniques called strategic relations, it doesn't matter what you look like. You show up as you are, but you're going to conform the world around you to as you desire. So now this is careful. We have to be careful about this, because we have to also assess whether our desires are beneficial to us. We may desire power, fame, as the Suicidal Tendencies song has, power, fame, all in your name. I'll make you want it. I'll make you need. The world cultivates our minds to be greedy so that they can control us. If we understand how that works, we can show up as we are, as we want to be, experience life through clear perspective rather than the veil of deception that's being used for manipulation. So we're going to talk about the techniques to understand those techniques, but not necessarily to use them. We're not about manipulating people in ways that would be harmful to the other person, or in the long term harmful to us. So again, transforming business relationships is different than converting prospects into buyers. It's creating an environment where a relationship with you is by default. And not only by default, it's mutually beneficial. Our original website was Yontora, which means together. And we had I won't go into it now because it's Latin words. It wasn't very popular. But essentially it means the collaborative conversation that produces mutual gain. That's really what we're about here. So I'm going to help you create certain results and connect with the right people and produce results, but I'm doing it in a way that benefits me as well. So as a newsletter publisher, as someone who has a membership site and a coaching program, those who are in the free newsletter or listen to the podcast, you're going to get the ability to ask questions. Those who invest in a membership or coaching, you're going to get one-on-one experiences, mainly through group coaching calls. And then some of the services that I've delivered for clients in the past include research or strategic research reports, commissioned materials, which might include researching beneficial relationships or risks or different things associated with that. But ultimately, the leverage points that you need to get the results that you're looking for. What other results are we looking to help you achieve? Well, greater confidence and clearer communications. I have the confidence to show up as I am. I look like a redneck hick, like I don't know what I'm talking about. I got a beard. I understand the persona you have there. The way I'm shaved might have certain connotations in certain cultures versus others. None of that matters to me because I can create results for my clients, because I have 20 years of experience creating results for clients. I've helped clients create more than $1 billion in outcomes. Now that's combined new sales, cost savings, cost avoidance, different things. I've worked with Fortune 100 companies. I've worked with individuals. I've worked with politicians. I've worked with people who want to get elected and people who have already been elected. I worked with senior level executives and folks who want to be senior level executives. The key is the transformation that I can deliver to you is greater confidence and clearer communications with specific target audiences. This isn't about me being popular with the world. It's about me being important and valuable in your outcomes. And so we teach you that. If you build a mastermind group, it's about the mutual benefit of the group and your ability to communicate your ideas, desires, vision, outcome with that group so that they can mutually help each other. It's about choosing the right people. It's about micro tests and different concepts that we use to determine who are the right people. And then ultimately, how do we hold ourselves accountable for the outcomes that we desire and the outcomes that we've committed to in a group? These are the things that we deliver to you here at Inside Strategic Relations. It does take an investment on your part, not just the financial investment of being a member, but ultimately the investment of implementing these ideas and concepts in your day-to-day life. And it turns out many of these things are habits you can develop that are far more beneficial than the habits you have today. Now, it's really up to you to decide, but I want to give you an opportunity. So I show up transparently as you are because my expectation is that you, when you're a client, are going to be transparent with me. And that transparency helps us develop and cultivate mutually beneficial relationships, mutually beneficial situations or setups, and mutually beneficial outcomes, which make you stronger as a person as far as your influence, your persuasion, your credibility in the marketplace, you being recognized as an expert, and ultimately getting the results that you desire. Now, we're not getting these results at the expense of other people. I'm really push a very high ethical standard when it comes to implementation. But ultimately, it's pretty much guaranteed that if you implement the way we tell you to implement, you're going to get the results that you told me you wanted. Now, again, if you lie to me and tell me you want one thing when you really want something else, you're going to end up with the thing you don't want. So again, transparency, clarity, high ethical standard, implementation. These are things that I expect of you. And I will then in turn give you the tools and resources to have influence in a marketplace, to position yourself as a recognized expert, to gain unfair advantage over your competitors who aren't willing to put in the work, to generate and produce outcomes that others thought were impossible, and to ultimately create and keep profitable customers, because it is the service of those customers in a free market economy that delivers to you the most sustainable and long-term benefits. So if you're interested in these things, you're in the right place. Join our newsletter. There should be a link below to join the Inside Strategic Relations newsletter. And then ultimately, I'll see you on the other side, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Always, just because you're listening to the podcast or just because you're on the free newsletter means you can ask your questions. I want to hear your questions. I want to hear a little bit about who you are and what you want to accomplish, and then ultimately about those challenges that you face, because I can show you how that simple act puts you on the right track, puts you on the path to the outcomes you desire. Thanks for watching. I'm Justin Hitt from Inside Strategic Relations, and I'll see you in the next podcast. And you can visit www.insidestrategicrelations.com for questions on the contact page and to join the free newsletter on the newsletter page.